Well, here we go, attempt number 2, IUI number 2. So, today is day 7 of my cycle. I had my beta blood test, the one where they test for pregnancy, last Friday, and then on Saturday I got my period. Obviously I knew it was going to be negative, but Saturday I started my period, which was good, so I went straight into cycle day 1, called the clinic back, and booked in, paid up for this round of IUI, booked in for a scan today. So, I've just had my scan. I've also had to have another blood test done because my levothyroxine, my thyroxine medication is running low, so I needed to have my blood test done for that so they can check if it's the right dosage again. And then I've got prescription for that too. Had my first ultrasound today, that went well. Fortunately, no massive follicles, so not about to ovulate. They reckon it's going to be about a week's time. So, and as I suspected, my left ovary is showing bigger right now, so I guess we will see. But anyway, I need to head home, but so far things are looking good, and I'm hoping this cycle I'll be able to do it without a trigger. So it's Tuesday the 31st of May, and I've just got back from my second scan for this IUI cycle. So as predicted, it is my left ovary. It's showing one follicle at 17 millimeters and potentially a second one at 10. Although he did think that could be a cyst, but I've definitely got at least one follicle that's developing nicely, which is good. It's day 11 of my cycle, didn't have a positive ovulation test this morning. I've booked in to have my third scan pre-IUI on Friday, and that will be my last one because I agreed with the doctor that I'm having this back and forth over whether or not to do a trigger shot or not, but I've decided that I really want to give at least one cycle a try if I can. So I did agree with the doctor that if on Friday morning I still haven't had a positive ovulation test, then we will definitely do a trigger that day. I'll have my IUI the next day. However, I don't think I'm going to last till Friday personally because my discharge is, I've just been to the toilet and my discharge has already changed to what it does kind of around the time when I ovulate. So I reckon I probably only have another day or two before I get a positive ovulation test, in which case I might be having the IUI on Friday, possibly Thursday, although I'd need to get a positive ovulation test by tomorrow, so I'm not sure if that would happen, but we'll see. But yeah, so my ovaries looking good, ready to go. The doctor didn't seem to, he said, you know, the trigger shot's useful for timing and stuff, and they like to do it, but it's not absolutely necessary. So I've decided that I will try and do this cycle natural, and then if this one doesn't work, I'll do a trigger shot next time. But I feel like I'll always regret it if I don't do at least one completely unmedicated cycle. So that's currently where we're at. My blood test results for my thyroid came back, and that's all good. So those levels have now eased out. So I'm on the right dosage now at like 25 micrograms, milligrams, whatever it is. So that's good to go. I've ordered some more of my prenatal supplements because I'm running out now. But yeah, sometime within the next 4 days I will have an IUI, so it's getting close now and I'm getting excited again. So excuse my vacuum cleaner in the background if you happen to hear it. I've got the Roomba cleaning the kitchen. So it is Friday morning now, cycle day 14. I have been taking ovulation tests since Monday, and on Wednesday evening I got a flashing smiley face on the clear blue kind of early ovulation detection thing. It gives you a flashing smiley face for high fertility and a solid for peak, like just before you ovulate. So I was thinking that this morning I was pretty confident it was going to be positive, and if not this morning, then this evening. So I took an ovulation test with my first morning urine, and this is what came up. So this isn't quite positive, it's just on the edge. And I took the digital as well, and that came back as a flashing smiley face. But I was just thinking, do you know what? Like, I woke up really early this morning with one of my smalls, so I'm going to just test again closer to 8, because I tested at 8 last night, so I thought I'll use my second morning urine and test again. Well, thank goodness I did, because this is still going across, but can you see? Way darker. It's definitely positive, that's a blazing positive. So thank God I did that, because I now need to have my IUI tomorrow morning rather than the afternoon, which is what I would have done. And like, I tend to ovulate quite like on the dot of 24 hours after I get this positive test. If I get it in the morning, it's the next morning. If I get it in the evening, it's the next evening, etc. So I'm just waiting for the digital to confirm it to me, and hopefully this will be a solid smiley face, and then we'll be good to go. But like, I took the other one out of this is the inside of the digital, and you can see that first line is darker than the second. So I was like, I think I'm on the brink of ovulating, and I didn't feel safe to leave it till this evening, so I thought I'm just going to do another one. And as soon as I saw, like, this popped up right away, like as the dye was going across, it was really dark. So yeah, now we just need to wait for this digital to be like, you're good to go. But like, here's the same two, there's two side by side. The top one is the one I took at about 6 a.m. this morning, and the bottom one is the one I took just now at like 8:30. Can you see the difference in that first line? I mean, the bottom one is still going across, it's still dye running across, but it's so much darker. It's really important actually that I ovulated this morning, because I had that agreement with the doctor that if I didn't have a positive ovulation test by this morning, then they would give me a trigger shot. Solid smiley face. Yes! We are good to go. So IUI tomorrow morning. I need to call them now and actually see if I still need to have my scan that I've got booked in for 10:40 this morning, but yay! Exciting. It is Saturday the 4th of June. I completely forgot to update after I had my appointment yesterday, but basically everything looked great. I went in, they scanned me, my lining was looking good. She said it was like 9 point something millimeters, which is great. I think they want it over 7, so 9's really good. And my follicle was measuring just around 21 millimeters, and she didn't seem to see a second one yesterday, so who knows if there is or isn't, but that looked really good. And so that was all good to go. So I'm booked in today to have my IUI at 12 o'clock. It is currently 10:30, so in a little bit I need to head up. I have to be there for 11:30 to get ready, and then I go in at 12, although last time they were running early, so I actually went in a bit earlier, but you know. So hopefully this one goes as well as last time, because I didn't have any discomfort last time, but yeah, fingers crossed for today. Good to go again. All done. So all done now. Went really well. So when I got there, I was brought down pretty quickly, and the nurse said to me, "Is your bladder full?" And I thought, gosh, no. I remembered an hour and a half before I went, they want you to have a full bladder for IUIs. It wasn't full, so she did a scan. She's like, yeah, no, it's not quite full enough. You need to go and drink some more water. So I did. But then about 5 minutes later, the doctor came down and I heard them having a conversation, and the doctor was like, oh no, she doesn't need a full bladder for IUI, it's fine. So I was actually able to go through. I had drunk more by then, so my bladder was feeling quite full by this point. But I was able to go in, and I said to them, use the small speculum, and I asked about the sperm quality this time. I said, do they check the sperm quality before they inseminate? And she's like, yeah, they would. And then the embryologist comes in, which is what they're called even when they're not dealing with embryos. And she, did the checks, the ID checks, makes me say my name, my date of birth, everything. And I asked what the quality was, and she was like, oh, it's really good. It was like 50 mil for motility, which is like really high. Anything over 20 is considered good. So that was really good. And then I had the procedure. They didn't even do an ultrasound this time. She just put the speculum in, put the catheter in, and injected the sperm. And she said, your cervix was open as well, which is a really good sign that you're ovulating. So we've got the timing right and everything. So fingers crossed, all looking good so far. And then I finally figured out how to recline the seats they have in the waiting recovery area. So I was able to lie back there and just read my book for about 15 minutes. So now gonna head home, have a really relaxed rest of the day, and fingers crossed I start feeling some ovulation cramps a bit later, so we know we've got this right. So it is Saturday the 11th of June, and it is 7 days past IUI today. I really was debating this cycle whether or not I was going to try and hold out until 10 days post IUI to even start testing, but I got to yesterday and I was getting like itchy for it, and I thought I'm never going to hold off. So I had some more of the really cheap, easy at home tests. So I figured I'd start today on 7 days past IUI. I'm sure it's going to be stark white, but I thought if I take the cheapies each day, then I could maybe see a line progression if I am hopefully pregnant. But yeah, so I've just taken that and it's sat for 5 minutes now. So I'm going to look at it. I'm not even going to bother to hold up to the camera because I'm sure there's going to be nothing on this test. And yeah, I think that is completely negative, as I expected. So this is the start of testing. So I'm only going to use these cheapy tests, I think, until at least 9 days past IUI, which is also 9 days past ovulation, because I had really intense ovulation pain the afternoon that I had my IUI. So I had my IUI at 12 o'clock at noon, and then I think by 2:30, 3 o'clock, my ovulation pain had kicked in, and it was really intense this month. It was my left ovary that was ovulating this month. So yeah, I guess we will see what happens as the week progresses. So it is 8 days past ovulation and 8 days past IUI today. I've just taken a test 5 minutes ago, so I'm going to look at it now. It's still really early, so again, I don't think it's going to show anything, but let me take a look. Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure it's negative. I can't see anything. I keep thinking maybe I can see a line, but I'm pretty sure that that is negative. Yeah, so I guess we'll be back to test tomorrow. So it is 9 days past IUI now, 8 o'clock in the morning. Miraculously, my small slept longer today. I have taken a Easy at Home, the little cheapy one, and also First Response this morning. I bought I spent so much money on pregnancy tests last month that I said I was not going to do that this time. So I've just bought 2 packs of the first response black box, this one. And so I've got 2 boxes of this, so 4 of these tests. And I have 3 pregnancy tests left over from last time. I have a Clear Blue Rapid Results one, that's the one that just gives you the cross or the minus. And I have the Clear Blue Ultra Early Line test and also an Ultra Early Digital. And I have told myself I am not buying any more. I'm going to use up these tests this cycle. So I've got enough of the first responses to basically test until from today 9 to up to 12 DPO. I feel like if I haven't seen anything by then, I'm just going to leave it with them and just keep doing the little strip tests. But I think it's unlikely that I'd have anything by that point, but I guess we'll see. So 9 days past IUI and ovulation. I think it's possible I might see something today, but it's still very early, so we'll just have to see. Okay, it's now time to check the tests. Oh my gosh, right. I'll start with a little cheapy one. And I think that is completely negative. I feel like I see a shadow on this one, but I feel like I see a shadow on all of them. And I'm pretty sure I'm just imagining it. I don't know. I seriously doubt you're going to be able to see anything. I feel like there might be a shadow on there. No, I think I'm just imagining it. I'm going to say that's negative. Right, let's have a look at the first response. I think there's a line. Oh my god, it's so faint you won't be able to see it. But I seriously think there's a line. Oh my god. Oh my god, it is. There is no way you're going to see this. It is so faint. I'll try. So, you're looking for a line somewhere like here. Let me get the camera, let me get my face out of the way, it might focus a bit more. Can you see it? Oh my god, I'm not imagining it's there. It's so faint. Now I thought I could see a shadow on this one. Okay, it's still really early, so I keep thinking I'm imagining things, but when I hold it up to the light, I think I'm getting something called line eyes, where you like almost imagine a line because you want to see it there so much. Oh, and I look a mess this morning, so I literally just rolled out of bed. I mean, who doesn't look a mess in the morning anyway, whatever. Okay, I have to be honest, the more I look at this, the more I'm not seeing it, which is kind of worrying to me, and I'm wondering if maybe my eyes are like deceiving me. So I'm going to leave this now, and I'll see what happens when this starts to dry, because I found that last month when I had trigger shot in my system and it was starting to fade out and I couldn't really see it on these when they were fresh, it did get a bit darker as the test dried out, which technically is an evaporation line, but I never got evaporation lines on this once my HCG has completely gone out. So I don't want to call it just yet. I think this is still I think it's still way too early to say if this is potentially positive or not, and I think this might just be a faint line that I think I might be imagining things, so I'm going to try and keep my hopes down for now. We'll just have to see what happens over the next few days, but oh man, did I imagine that line? If it is there, it's so faint, so we'll just have to wait and see for tomorrow.